If you're looking for something extra special for your holidays, how about an ice sculpture? I'm Michael and Shia out here on the Two Casa patio where Victor Rede has fired up his chainsaw and he's making magic with a block of ice. This guy is like a surgeon, honestly, and he's making intricate cuts, but he's not using a scalpel. He's actually using a chainsaw. Stick around with us while this takes form.
Cute. Gotcha, Michael.
We're back here, and you know what? It's amazing that after watching this, and it's amazing to watch Victor. I'm here with Victor Rede, and who can have a more appropriate name than Victor Rede, who owns this company, whose company's name is Ready to Cater.
Ready to Cater, that's right. Catering and ice sculptures.
That's amazing. Now, we've been watching here in real time, actually, Victor sculpting, and this is honestly, it was a block of ice, and now it's formed into a beautiful swan. For a minute there, I thought you were sculpting my nose when I saw that, and I was like, he's making fun of me. So, Victor, we heard about how you got into the ice sculpting.
Right.
Tell us about the process. I mean, this is amazing. For example, what if, like, the head were to come off?
That's a great question. If the head falls off in one piece, I can weld it back on. There's about 3 or 4 different welding techniques where you can weld it with dry ice or a little slushy ice. There's a marbling technique where you can set the block on a piece of marble and the flat pieces kind of bond together. If the whole thing falls over and just shatters, then you got to go back and start from square A. So,
that's amazing. So you can weld ice. I didn't know that.
Weld ice, and that's how you do multiple blocks too. You can get these 300-pound blocks, and you can stack them and weld them together, and then carve large blocks. I've done multiple blocks where you take pieces and you weld them together and you come up with a large large ice sculpture with 300-pound blocks. So
So now for the people at home, what events would be best to get order an ice sculptor?
Well, they're kind of good for all events. Buffets, hotels use them all the time. Weddings, of course. This would be a great ice sculpture for a wedding. Gosh, they're also practical. You can, make luges for summertime parties where you run the liquor down them, and you can make punch bowls and put, beverages in there. So they're very practical. Also, you can put shrimp and seafood and fruit around to help keep them cold. So not only do they look great for a centerpiece on a buffet, but they are practical for food and stuff. So
right. And so how long do they last?
They last about something this thick and about this size will probably last anywhere from 8 to maybe 12 hours. A competitive piece that's a little more detailed and thin will probably last about 3 or 4 hours. So it kind of depends on the actual piece and how thick it is and how long it'll last. So,
well, nice. Yeah. Well, Victor, let's say I'm at home right now and I'm like, wow, I got this really cool event that's coming up, and I would love to have an ice sculpture. How long? When should I call you? How long does it take?
The sooner the better. The thing that's nice about ice sculptures is you can carve them well in advance, store them in the freezer, wrap them up, and 2 or 3 months later they're fine. So the longer the notice, the better. But if you've got an ice carving next weekend, give me a call. I'll be able to pull it off and get it up to you. So absolutely.
That's amazing. Now tell us about the block of ice. It's not like you can just go in your fridge and freeze some water and make a block of ice. There's a process to that, right?
Right. If you can see this, it's still kind of cloudy just because of the temperature out here. But they make the ice in these canisters that are kind of filling the water from the bottom up, laying down, and there's pumps in there, and it circulates all the water. All the sediments goes to the top, and then they discard the sediment, and then you've got a perfectly clear block. And that's what you want. You want a block that's perfectly clear like this so you can get the nice detail. If you have any slush in the center or any cloudiness, you can't do that detail work. It's too crumbly. And so the process of making the ice is very difficult, and Ready Ice is the one that provides the majority of the ice here in town, and they'll run anywhere from $50 to over $100 depending on the quality of the ice. So, yeah.
Amazing. Now, Victor, wonderful detail. I'm honestly shocked. This is wonderful. You're an artist for sure.
Thank you.
Competitions. Have you competed?
I've done many competitions. I've won some national medals in ice carving. I've got a couple of apprentices that do even better than I have, and so I have done a lot of competition. Especially 10-15 years ago. So now I do it more as a hobby and part of my business, and I still enjoy it. So
Right.
Yeah.
What were some of your most odd requests for a sculptor?
I've had every request for ice sculptures for, I think I've done every kind of animal, every kind of logo, you name it. I've had, you know, any kind of party, bachelor parties, birthday parties, and office parties. So I think I've done just about anything in ice, and so I'm ready for another new challenge.
There you go. Well, for our first show, you made the wonderful punch bowl, which was awesome, and you also made the two Casa logo, which was beautiful. You did a great job.
Thank you.
How did you get color on that?
Okay, the color, it comes from like the snow that's on the ground. You use a certain tool that die grinds the lettering out, and then you fill it with that snow, and that'll make it white. If you want to put some color in it, you put colored sand, and you have to put the sand in there first, pack it with the ice, add a little water to kind of slush it, kind of fill it in with the water, and make sure it welds in there. And then once it clears up, all you see is the coloring of the letters and the snow fill. So that's a little difficult process, and ice carving has come a long way. We used to do everything with chisels. Now it's all power tools and chainsaws. Now we have these welding techniques. We've got, you know, sand, snow fills, ice fills that just do so much more in ice in the last 10 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I got to know Victor a little bit. We were hanging out before and got to know him. You're a father as well, which is great. And we've got a lot in common. We're both very manly men. Okay, maybe I'm not so manly. I'm actually, I stay away from power tools, but I seen you with the chainsaw, and it's actually quite intimidating. So what do people say when they see you with that chainsaw?
Well, they wonder how these are done, and it's the power of the chainsaw and the power tools that, you know, does 90% of the work. So if you've got a little artistic background, if you can sculpt or carve, you know, ice carving is not that difficult. The hardest part is actually delivering these things. You know, you can carve them in, you know, 15, 20 minutes, but, you know, getting them to the location and getting them set up in one piece, that's really the big battle. So
yeah,
that's the big worry, is getting it there and making sure I don't break it. But the carving part is actually pretty easy, and it goes fast.
You make it look easy, I'll tell you, because when the first time I saw you do this, I was like, I went at home and I bought a block of cheese. I was like, let me try with a block of cheese. I could not do it. I did a block of cheese and a hair trimmer, and I was like, it wasn't working at all.
Margaritas, you know, get some ice. Chop them up, make some margaritas. Yeah. Work your way up, Michael.
Yeah, well, so if you need someone to cater and you need someone who can do some ice sculpting, Victor's your man, and here's how you can contact him. Don't be intimidated by the chainsaw. He's a great guy. He's artistic and wonderful job. Very, very professional. So thank you so much, Victor.
Thank you.
It's been great.
To be here, Mike.
It's been great.
Okay.
Themselves.
Victor Rede, who is ready to cater all your catering needs and ice sculpting needs. Victor, thank you so much. We appreciate having you, as always.
It's great to be here, Mike.
Great. Thank you so much. It looks beautiful. Right. And guys, don't forget about the Twinkle Light Parade this Saturday. Nikki and I will be there at the Civic Plaza and the Chemo Theater, so please be there. Awesome stuff. I am amazed. Hey, can you make me a Snoopy? One of these days?
I can do that for you, Mike.
I would love a Snoopy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Snoopy's on.
I would love Snoopy. It's a great job, I have to say. Totally amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Swan.
I love Snoopy too. How about you?
Yeah.